So hello and welcome back. Now, obviously Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the new best thing since sliced bread, color black, and well, basically Assassins going down the Viking path. All is nice and amazing, and this game been around on, well, kind of like closed beta, pre-order, stuff like this for a while now. Obviously it's now hit the shelves, I do believe for at least 3 days, because it actually launched on the 10th of November. And I've been looking at all these comparison videos, you know, just like taking a look here and there and reading the comment section. I'm reading the forums. I'm just trying to see the general feel of the public or the gamers who are actually willing to put down their money to play this title. And I have noticed a trend. No one ever speaks about Ubisoft game performance on the previous years or in upcoming years, so to say. So I decided, you know what, it's time to bite the bullet. So obviously what I did, I got it, right? Just as a little comparison, there you go, I can actually play it. How did I got it? Obviously Ubisoft Plus. Why? Because it's much more cheaper than actually forever spending £50 for standard edition and getting a full bag of Ubisoft glitches. Ubisoft glitches, you say, but why would you say such a controversial thing about Ubisoft titles? It's brand new. This is where you are wrong. But Ubisoft is finally learned from their mistakes. And when I say learn from their mistakes, I'm talking about they finally figured out that it's very bad practice to put in actual minimum and recommended settings for the game and then having a backslash when the game simply does not run with said hardware. Obviously there is some channels out there which I really like that are, I don't know where they got this ancient hardware from, because I do believe they kind of rob a museum once in a while, but they actually are proving every single time that recommended older hardware specs simply does not run this stuff, even if it's been tested or pre-tested, and I've touched on this topic as well. Now, let's get back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Before we dive in, we kind of need to remember the last thing Ubisoft released on Assassin's Creed, and obviously it's gonna be Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So since I've got the gameplay, well, basically done on my channel, and I've got the graphical comparisons both with 980, 1080 Ti and 2080, I've got a pretty good idea what they mean by requirements and how the game actually runs, and this goes across all the titles. Every time I play a Ubisoft title, it doesn't matter which one it is. Well, basically Assassin's Creed, Breakpoint, Wildlands, it honestly does not matter. There is something in their code just slows the game down. And I discovered a couple new channels, obviously since of the launch of the new Nvidia 3000 series. There's a guy with like 390 and overclocked Ryzen CPU, and he was playing this game maxed out in 4K with 3090 and overclocked Ryzen, so technically, well, obviously AMD fans were stoked, and guess what? He was kinda hitting 60 frames per second, and I was like, man, if 3090 with overclocked last generation, the newest Ryzen CPU you can get your hands on, is barely hitting 60, that's not a hardware issue, that is a software issue. So before we go into this, let me take a look at recommended requirements for Odyssey, just for comparison's sake. I know you guys probably are lazy and you don't care about this as much as I do, but this is, I'm not saying this is personal vendetta. I like Ubisoft titles at some degree, at least older ones. Let's take a look. So, recommended requirements for Odyssey: Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, 64-bit versions only. I wonder why is that. CPU AMD FX 8350 at 4 GHz, fine. Intel Core i7 3770. This is very interesting, and of course, like a tiny addition, Ryzen 5, you know, 140, which is kind of like the very entry level of the Ryzen series anyway. That is fine. Let's go for video. So these are recommended requirements, okay? Keep that in mind. So R9 2090X, 4 GB of VRAM or more, shader level, well, model 5.0 level, it actually doesn't really matter. I mean, most of the new newer cards, and by new I mean at least 4 years old to be honest, will have shader model 5.0 and NVIDIA GeForce 970 4GB. I was playing this game Odyssey with 980 and I can't really say I was hitting a constant 60. It was more like constant 50 on full HD. Memory 8 gigs of RAM, good. Resolution 1080p, targeted frame rate 30 frames. Let this sink in. Honestly, this is the recommended requirements for full HD gaming. You need this. I was playing with i7 2600 with 980 and I was kind of hitting, well, 55 to 60 with drops, and of course I tried to optimize it. But the targeted frame rate is 30 frames. I mean, I'm sorry, what? Okay? As I said, just let this sink in, right? I'm not even going to touch anything else about this. And this is on video preset high. There is more than high settings. There's very high and there's ultra settings in Odyssey. We're playing on high. That is what, like 2 levels below of actual world quality, shading quality, model quality, geometric, telemetry, and anything else. And the targeted frame rate is 30 frames per second. I honestly believe that the PlayStation 3 could easily reach 30 frames and it will definitely gonna be playing on more than a high level. Guys, PC Master Race needs to suck it up. So let's close this tab and come back to what I actually was looking at. So it's very nice for Ubisoft to finally provide some specs of what they expect of things and what people can actually do. So looking at this chart, it looks a bit confusing at first, but then you actually start figuring out that what they want is kind of playing some battlefield of ships. You see minimum recommended high enthusiast level, and then you can see average performance, how they think the world works, which means basically proves how disconnected from actual world the Ubisoft is. Graphical settings, GPU requirements, CPU, RAM, operating system, and storage. So this is where the actual fun begins, and the problem is I'm pretty fucking nitpicking when it comes to things like these, because I do run my channel which is older hardware, so I'm pretty well versed in older hardware since I actually had it at one point in my time. So let's start at minimum requirements. Average performance full HD 30 frames, graphical settings low preset. GPU requirements is NVIDIA 960 4GB. So that means if we are playing on low, which we will do a benchmark obviously, on low settings full HD, we should not exceed 4GB of RAM and we should hit at least 30 frames. I literally want to see that happen. RAM requirements is 8GB dual channel mode. And the Ubisoft thinks, oh, this is fine. 8 gigs is okay. What they actually did, a little mistake, they actually mentioned the CPU that is required. Intel i5 4460. Let's take a look at official Intel site. And what do we see? It supports DDR3, not DDR4. So we are getting less memory bandwidth for an older chip, and I highly doubt everyone on the world is rocking 1600 OC RAMs at 1.5. I do believe they kind of stick to your usual casual stock 1333. Okay, I understand. Things are tough for minimum requirements. It's a brand new title, you know, absolutely not a reskin. There's no reused combat or texture animations or anything at all that, or so they say, but we will definitely take a look at that as well. Let's look at recommended. Oh, so for full HD 30 frames on recommended and playing on high, we need NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 6GB. I do understand this is a new title, big textures, you need to basically load the textures. Yeah, fair point, I can't argue with that. 6 gigs 1060 is a decent card anyway. What do we have here? Intel i7 4790. Ooh, one of the best CPUs Intel actually let out. And it requires 8GB of dual channel. Okay, let me take a look at the Intel site, what it tells me. And it tells me that it also runs on DDR3, only supports 133 or 1600. Coincidence? I think not. So, okay. Basically that means that to get 30 frames with 1060, we gonna be using DDR3, and their projected average performance, so technically that means should not fall below or might fall below 30 frames on recommended full HD. You need this setup? I'm sorry. Have you lost your mind? If this is not the best excuse for how unoptimized this title is, I don't know what is. Ubisoft, you can definitely hit me up if you want, and I will be glad to talk with you. And if you want, you can look at my channel and go through the videos where I tested your own titles, and goddamn do I have a lot of them. And you can explain me, why are you so blatantly just putting out these CPU configurations, and don't tell me these are your test systems. I honestly do not believe that anyone who is considered an alpha or closed beta tester is actually running 4790 non-K, not overclocked, with the lowest RAM speeds ever. I mean, are you really trying to sell this? Because I'm not buying it. That's not how alpha and closed betas work. I'm sorry, I've been there. I know what happens behind the scenes. I know what happens behind the curtains. Probably one of the reasons why Ubisoft does not want me to be in their tasting team, but I mean, their loss. So obviously operating system requirements is Windows 10. A very interesting requirement, but I can understand. I mean, Windows 7, it's unsupported. Windows 8, well, not really many people use it. Well, since there's no Windows 9 or Windows 11, we're stuck with Windows 10. Fair enough. However, if you look at the minimum requirements, it requires 50 gigabytes of hard drive. An SSD is recommended, and everything above is basically SSD. Okay, let's go for the high requirements. So we can finally expect full HD at 60 frames playing on high preset. Okay, this sounds nice. Let's take a look. Oh, NVIDIA GeForce 1080, 8 gigabytes. So, is that a promise? Are you telling me that I should be able to hit 60 frames, full HD, on high settings if I had 1080? Because I have 1080 Ti, and I can't say I'm dying to test it out, but goddamn, I just want to see. So technically that means average performance should be on 60 on high preset. Okay, so Intel i7 67. This is where the DDR4 starts. Obviously I looked it up first, and yep, DDR4, and we're actually kind of sitting on a lower branch, and well, of course it supports DDR3L, but I mean, it really depends on the chipset and the board you're using, to be completely fair. Also at 135, not 1.5, Jesus. But this is kind of actually stock for RAM, so no need to nitpick this one. Right, okay. An enthusiast. So what does enthusiast requires? 2K at 4040p at 60 frames, very high preset, and we need GeForce 2080S. And an Intel i7, 87K at stock. So enthusiast grade at 4040p should be able to get 60 frames with 2080, which I actually had. So you're telling me that if I'm not doing 4040p, I should be getting around the same on enthusiast? Okay. I'm making my notes here, people. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This is on their website. This is literally what you can find on Ubisoft. If you go and you want to buy the game, it actually gives you the spec sheet, and this is the spec sheet. Just because I opened it in a different tab, it's exactly the same. And you definitely seen this floating around. And for Ultra on 4K, they want to have RTX 2080, 8 gigs, ultra high presets, and it's gonna go on, wait for it, average performance 30 frames. And the 3090 the guy has, that absolutely blows out 2080 out of the water in 4K performance, is stuttering and kind of getting 60, 62, in some places 70 frames. Oh boy, you just cannot admit that you simply want money and you don't want to code decent game. Okay, that is absolutely fine. And well, available November 10, it's already available, no worries. So what do we have here? Requirements: DX12, which luckily we have. It comes with Windows 10. Uncapped frame rate, well, check. In-depth customization options, I mean, choosing the gender, okay. Hybrid input, fair enough. Multi-monitor and widescreen support, my TV gonna love this. In-game benchmark for performance analysis, where have I seen this? Is that Odyssey? Probably. Is that Breakpoint? Probably. Yeah, now it's Valhalla. Performance analysis. God damn it, people. You should literally get off your high horse with all this performance analysis. But I'm not done yet. Oh, I'm not done yet. Not only I'm gonna test this game out and we're gonna take a look, and this is gonna be first time I'm actually commenting the whole benchmarking process, because I just wanna see. I've written all this down, so we're gonna go by the book. Minimum 34 gigs of VRAM, stuff like this. We're gonna test this out. I actually dig out the comparisons between the 960 and 1060, which is required for us for the minimum requirements and the recommended ones. So as you can see, the difference is huge, 73%. And when we go up to high, it wants 1080. So from recommended to high, just to push this 30 frame barrier on the same high preset, we're gonna have 1080 Ti versus 1060 with 136% faster everything, and it needs to be twice as powerful to win 30 frames? I mean, I am sorry, what the actual fuck? Of course, I'm not gonna say that Fortnite, CSGO or PUBG is taking any frames, that would be fucking stupid. GTA 5 maybe. Battlefield 1, I mean, that game is pretty decently optimized, to be honest, at least at this point. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, 115 frames? Maybe in 1080, probably. Minecraft, not even gonna touch that. And World of Tanks, 151, yeah, that is true actually. It's kind of around 130 though, since I played that game. World of Warcraft, no idea. But either way, this is what I wanted to show you guys, and let's just jump in, finally, and take a look at this new, amazing, shining Ubisoft title that everybody so loves, never seen before, and could never actually, even predict that it might come out, because they literally sucked out the Templars, the Assassins, the Egypt, the Greeks, I mean, Italians, and now the last frontier is Valhalla instead of Japan, or, well, actually any other nation on the world that has some really good fighting. And to be honest, I would actually go for Thailand, because goddamn, the Thailand and Muay Thai, I mean, shit, I would play Assassin's Creed with Muay Thai. But who am I to speak, right? Anyway, let's jump in and let's take a look how all of this actually looks. So here we are after a couple game restarts, because guess what? The game simply does not really like to be recorded using NVIDIA Shadow Play, and obviously I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll use OBS. Couple tweaks later, which basically means rebooting everything I have, and that is not really a small number of devices. I managed to launch it. Great. So what we have? This is the welcoming screen. I must say that the start animation literally puts you back into the Unity. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me having PTSD of Ubisoft. Doesn't matter. Let's take a look. Stay tuned for new Viking adventures. Pimp your boat. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen and Apache choppers. It was nice to know decent English. Now we are into the slang. Pimp your boat, motherfuckers. Put some spinners on it. Fucking do some lowrider shit on it. Put some hydraulics, for fuck's sake. Pimp your boat. I mean, for fuck's sake. Yeah, it's all about the historical accuracy when it comes to Ubisoft titles. Obviously, the Vikings couldn't just sleep, they needed to pimp their boats. I feel you. I like historical accuracy, I cannot lie. And if I have an option to pimp my boat, fuck, I wanna put some actual tunes on that motherfucker. Anyway, Ubisoft Connect, legendary reward. I can swear to myself that this is the bow from Odyssey, but I'm not gonna spoil the secrets. It's gonna have some really interesting thingy. Oh wait, hold up. Shoot your enemies like a real Viking, like a like a real Viking with this unique Spartan bow. A real Viking with a Spartan bow. Take that, historical accuracy. Also, if anyone actually remembers, in Odyssey, playing as a Spartan, you couldn't actually have a shield, because Spartans obviously never use the shields, but then you fight against them and they have shields. And now as a Viking, you have a Spartan bow. And you can pimp your boat. I honestly, I don't know, maybe someone actually made this game for fun and they wanted to see if people will spend money, and goddamn they are. I want to have a drink with their marketing team, because fucking hell, if they could actually let this slide through quality assurance team, shit, those boys are never sober, or at least not when they're making the decisions. And here we go, patch notes. Let's go for the patch notes. New content, added additional localized audio packs, set your dialogue language in the sounds. That is very good, actually, I can't lie about that. There's also a lot of different things like menu navigation for people with a certain, well, you know, imperfections with their sight and stuff like that. I'm always about accessibility when it comes to games, but yeah, anyway. And what do we have here? Game improvements. Fine-tune the balancing of the game. Okay. Addressed various quest-related nuisances. Like what? Having run to 3 different places to complete one quest, same as in Odyssey, same as in Origin, almost the same as in Unity and Syndicate, or same as in Breakpoint, or same as in Wildlands. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think if they actually manage to take me to A to B, and that's your quest, I'm gonna be happy about it. If not, well, fuck it. Improved performance and stability. So it wasn't improved before when the game shipped. That's what I'm seeing here, but anyway. Miscellaneous bug fixes. Oh, trust me, Ubisoft. Whatever you thought was a bug is actually a feature, and you probably removed that as well. Anyway, I'm gonna stop slandering this game. Well, considering I just launched it, so as you can see, I haven't done anything with it. The only thing I actually do is, obviously, well, what the actual fuck? Everything was supposed to be on low. We're doing benchmarks here. Restart the game to apply the changes. 6 restarts later to get recording going, and it just does this to me. Heartbroken. Okay, be right back. So here we are back. Let me check if my restart required actually did what I needed to do. Yes, everything is on low. And we are using 2779 megabytes. So the first requirement of, well, looking at that, well, chart before, was to have at least 4 gigs. So we're hitting the GPU requirements. Now the only thing we need to do is to hit at least 30 frames at full HD, which shouldn't be too hard. So world data is low, and all of these options. This is literally the same as in Odyssey. You can literally compare the two. Yeah, volumetric clouds on medium. What? Oh, there's not even a setting below medium. Oh, you got me there. You got me by the balls. Right there, Ubisoft. Okay, I'll give you this win. So let's do the benchmark on low. Full HD, 60 frames, FPS uncapped. And I want to see how it goes. Ooh, I am very curious how it's gonna go. Let's take a look. Can I run around? Oh my god, that Unity vibe. I think this game was actually designed when the Unity was actually done, because this game actually runs on the, not really the Unity engine, it runs on Ubisoft Anvil. So this is exactly the same game engine the Unity was running. Oh boy, are we in for a treat here? Right, so we have all this stuff, and what do I see? I see microstutters with 1080 Ti. Right, so vertical string is off, graphics low, adaptive quality is off. Well, thank fuck for that. So we're hitting 100 frames, and I must say the game looks like shit. I swear to God, Odyssey looks better than this. It's maybe because there's so much things like grass on the houses that I would say would actually really need to look good, and this is where the medium and high settings will definitely take the cake. But so far this looks like a polygon battle. You can just see stuff unrendered, and it stutters. You can literally see this. Look at the frame drips. Upper right corner, look at the frame drops. Oh my god, Ubisoft, please never fucking change, otherwise I will literally have no one to write about home. Oh my goodness, I was hoping that they have finally learned from their mistakes of optimizing the games. Man. So in terms of GPU memory, we are using 3.3 gigs. RAM, however, is being used 8.8 gigs, so we're using full 8 gigs. So people back in the day, let's say your Windows would be choking itself out to existence, because the requirement for minimum requirements for 1080 30 frames on low preset was actually 8 gigs, and this is DDR3. Now look at this graph. Frames rendered 8383. All of this is the frame drops. This is the engine we are running on. And you know which engine this is, as I mentioned before? The Unity one. Oh my goodness. And then I got so excited seeing that people who actually managed to get their hands on a 3000 series and, you know, the Navi GPUs are having the same issue, and they all go like, actually on big fucking channels, they go like, what the fuck? And I'm just sitting there in a corner like, I fucking told you so. This is why I simply don't buy the Ubisoft titles for full price. Yes, there is some I bought, but anyway, it's not the point. So GPU streams or basically memory swaps, average 9 milliseconds, minimum 8, maximum 13. Pretty good score, to be honest. I would kind of want to expect 23 and up for these drops. CPU 97. That's not really good for the CPU time when it comes to frame rendering, but look at these fucking massive drops. Anyway, thank you for this. I think it's time to go for the medium settings here. Let's see if we can just apply them straight off the bat, so we don't have to go for anything out of it. As you can see, this actually looks good. Can't really say it doesn't. So graphics, graphics quality, let's go for medium. Please tell me. Ah shit, I need to restart the game. Be right back. So here we are back again. Obviously, I do believe I'm gonna skip this surprise stuff every time changing the setting and just skip straight onto. So graphics, we are on medium, whatever that means, and yeah, let's go for the benchmark. So what we have for recommended, or apparently that is the medium, I would say, since there's nothing else. 1080p 30 frames, high preset. Oh, that's even high preset. And we need 8 gigs, and we need i7 4790. Obviously I'm not going to compare with Ryzen, because I'm not a Ryzen guy. Yes, burn me at the stake, I said it. And we need GT 1060. Okay, let's go for it. I want to see the performance increase or drops when it comes to it. Sorry about that. Unity loading screen with some drops while it's loading. I must agree, this game is actually installed and downloaded straight onto my SSD, so there's no excuses for any kind of loading times. And it looks marginally better. And it runs already shittier. And look at this, look at the stuttering while just going forward. And if you look at the MSI Afterburner, upper left corner, GPU load is 45%. It's not even on 100. It's not even fucking doing anything. We're using 3.7 gigs of video RAM, and we're using 8.5 of actual RAM, and we're still getting these insane drops. Oh shit, Ubisoft, you totally dropped the ball. Of course, we are above 60, the golden magic number every PC Master Race wants to see. The smoke looks atrocious. I do believe that's a reuse from Breakpoint. Oh my goodness. Fucking hell, at this point I might just use some drugs and play Far Cry 5 and just feel like a Viking with a fucking rock in my hand. Good lord. Look at these dropped frames, these stutters. Oh my fucking goodness. Yeah, you know what? I'm kinda curious to go straight up for like very high and skipping the high. But I think it's gonna be a bit more, you know, not fair. Also, I do have the latest NVIDIA Game Ready driver that released for Call of Duty Cold War. So I don't think that's the issue here. And what we have here, 89. So the GPU, so the frame time did increase a bit. Average is 11, maximum 14, and CPU is on 120. Ouch. Anyway, see you back for the high settings then. Okay, so I decided to show you the actual opening sequence. We are running on high just now. The game has just restarted. There's no audio for obvious reasons. As you can see, Ubisoft Anvil, the old game engine. Of course, it's optimized for Ryzen because, well, you kind of need to bow to the king. And yeah, we have all of multiple things and stuff like that. Obviously, let's take a look. I'm a bit surprised. Where's my MSI Afterburning? Oh, there it is. Just decided to show up. Fun fact. While this Unity, all this intro is going, it actually was showing 31 frame, like frame locked. So I think that kind of tells a story here that this is kind of meant for consoles. So PlayStation 4 guys, watch out. I do believe this is coming your way. Maybe PS5. But anyway, so graphics high, whatever the preset gives me, I don't even know. And I honestly do not care. As you can see, we have 11 gigs of 1080 Ti to play around with, and i5 9600 stock, because I don't see the point to overclock my CPU just for one Ubisoft title. And we are using 6.2 gigs of our actual RAM just by browsing the menu, which is kind of cool. And I think it's let's just go. So what we have to beat? So the 1080 was required for high settings, which is exactly what we have now, and we're supposed to be hitting average performance of 60 frames, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is. So let's just do that here and take a look. I'm kind of expecting something below 60, but I think the 1080 Ti will hold its own. It's gonna show the Ubisoft a very interesting number of a finger, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. I have faith in NVIDIA. Unfortunately, I must say, yeah, I like NVIDIA, I'm sorry. Team Green, simple as. It might not be the fastest, the best, or the cheapest, definitely, but I don't know. Had multiple issues with Radeon cards. Never had actual issues with NVIDIA cards, go figure. So what do we have? I'm seeing some drops below 60 here. Oh boy. Oh my god. Let me just sip my drink and observe. So the GPU usage is still 95%, so Anvil Engine is unable to use the full potential of this card because this is a very bad sight to see. We're using 4.9, so almost 5 gigs. Smoke looks shit as before. Great. But our frame time is pretty alright, I must say. We're kind of hovering between 6... Ah, fuck, that was 47. Jinxed it. Let's see what we got. I think we're gonna get like average about 75, I think. At least so far. Yeah, I don't know. I think they did something to this game. It's not even about the engine anymore. It's about how they actually pieced all the open world together. So Anthem actually failed about this. I kind of hope that Ubisoft used or learned from their mistakes. But something feels about this game. Like if you look at this particular scene, it feels like before Breakpoint and before Odyssey. So I would say this was kind of like at the same time or slightly after Unity. Specifically if they're using the Anvil. So correct me if I'm wrong. If there's any Ubisoft contact who wants to tell me I'm a retard, hit me up with my email and we'll take a look at that. So what do we have here? So we have 79 frames, so we are actually way above this. So Enthusiast and Ultra. You know what? I think I'm gonna skip the Enthusiast level, go straight up for Ultra. I wanna see how it murders our system. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. There's no point of going, you know, one step at a time. Or maybe there is. Give me a sec. I'm gonna think about it and I'm gonna come back to you. So I decided to actually go for ultra settings rather than very high because, you know, it's kind of pointless for me to go one step at a time. Specifically if we are looking at a Ubisoft title, because honestly it's like what, a hope for a slight increase. I like to stress out systems. I like to see the maximum they can get out, and unfortunately Ubisoft titles is not exactly the correct benchmarking tool for it. But if you can master the Ubisoft title, I mean, shit, world's your oyster, that's the point. And I must say the opening cinematic is pretty cool. Look at this. This is, I mean, this does look amazing. As much as I'm a really pissed off usually guy, I must say I need to give credit where credit is due. This looks fucking amazing. The way it's been made, they actually put the two axes making the assassin symbol. Yeah, goddamn. See if I can actually manage to take a quick screenshot. Yes, I did. Perfect. And we're in. So options, just to double check nothing has changed. Ultra high, I can't go higher than this. Adaptive quality is off, obviously. Everything else is on ultra high. So basically we are exactly at the same level as with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I'm expecting, to be honest, 60 frames, because this is still full HD. So let's just go for it and take a look how my hopes crash and burn. Because for enthusiast level at 2K they wanted 2080s or 2080 Super. And they wanted also an 87K for Intel. So let's see what is gonna happen. You know, the magical numbers are dropping. And MSI shows me we're still in 60s. And the Ubisoft one is showing us 60s as well. And I see a bit more frame drops, and the game does not look a single fucking thing better. You can see the fog on the ground, a bit more lush vegetation, tiny bit more shadows. Draw distance is shit. I literally see pixels on my screen in the distance. That's not rendering well at all. The houses are much more vegetated now. You can see the bushes and everything. And there's a dog. Oh fuck, I wanna pet the dog. I don't think that's a dog, that's a wolf. I don't really think they have wolves back there. They probably had the battle wolves. Oh shit, that's nice. And we're kind of within 60 and this is on ultra high. I wonder what would happen at 4040p. But to be completely fair, let's face it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. What I will actually do is actually start the game itself and take a look. Now the problem is, since I don't really care about the storyline, because there's always a long exposition in before and stuff like this. But so far, that means that, again, so 71 frame, look at all these frames that we've dropped. All these stutters, frames rendered 5000. This is way less than in Breakpoint on ultimate quality. The 1080 Ti was able to squeeze out, and Breakpoint is one of the newest titles, more demanding titles that we ever seen. Comes from the Ubisoft, well, pocket obviously. And we actually managed to do this Now we got like what frames? Of course it was like frame scores back then, but I mean the actual streamline numbers are fine and the frame time numbers are fine as well. I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh wait, hold up, I'm actually benchmarking Ubisoft title. Fuck, I keep forgetting this. I'm trying to compare this to actual game and I forget it's a Ubisoft title. Anyway, this is the thing about the Ubisoft. So I'm not saying they're bad company. Thanks them for the titles they make. Someone needs to make the titles. Let's face it, there's not really many companies left. What we have like Ubisoft and EA and occasional bystanders or someone who walks by with some indie title. So obviously they aren't keeping the market saturated, which is good for them. And I think it's time for us to actually take a little sneak peek at the actual game performance. I'm gonna leave it at Ultra and we're gonna take a look. So here we are and we're still running on Ultra graphics. Obviously, let me just double check because this game is very sneaky when it comes to it. So Ultra high, everything really pretty nice. 5.7 megs, full HD, no changes there. Vertical sync is off obviously and resolution scale is on 100 and we're actually getting the happy numbers above 60, so it's not really that bad. So I want to see this next gen title, what people say, oh my god, the graphics are so cool. Where? Look at the ground. Does this strikes you as a good graphics? You want to see good graphics? Play Metro Exodus. Honestly. I mean, the very beginning, the first. Wait, what? Okay, I mean. Okay, so some cheats to see us through the vegetation. A nice trick. But everything kind of looks a bit weird. Is this the next gen? Is this the best Ubisoft could actually pump out their fish tank? Okay, so yes, we are leaving trails in the snow. Very good. Exactly the same mechanic that's been used in Frostpunk, which is a strategy game for survival where you don't even see people this up close. You had snow trails. I don't believe there's actually snow trails in Breakpoint though. I might come back to my word on that one. Shadows pretty decent. They're moving with the trees. Of course there's no RTX on this card, so I can't say it's good or bad. Trees. Our thing. Crow, eagle. No. Should be raven since we're actually following the Greek Viking mythology. And yeah, ravens would never sit on the side, they would go for a high point. Anyway, we can just break shit. Great. How do we heal? Give me some healing stuff. Better? Health regeneration. Okay, I need some health. Yo. Hold your horses. If I need to take someone out, I need some... Collect cloudberry. Ah, that's how you do it. You eat snow from the branches of some bushes. I think our boy might be vegan or some stuff. And we have bow and arrows, okay. I'm sorry, is this the graphic that's supposed to be the next title? And we don't actually leave footprints in this snow. Oh, how easily people are fooled by the games when they don't know how or what should be there. So we are in the snow up to our waist. Okay. Oh wait, we can actually climb. So the same mechanic as in Odyssey. Plus space instead of just holding shift. Maybe it will come later on. And there's a viewpoint. Great, let's synchronize. So far I'm not impressed, but to be honest, I'm very hard to impress to begin with. Nice glitch of the dough. Perfect kill because I'm just so damn fucking good. Loot. I'm gonna loot a kill dough. Okay, is the blood actually spilling out? No, it's a certain patch. The dough kind of have a light reflection on it. Pretty young because you can still see the patches on it. So it's not really an old dough. It's actually pretty young. I would give it like about 2 years or so. But I'm not like a guy who keeps forests in check, so don't take my word for it. I'm gonna synchronize. So far we are getting pretty decent frames. Everything maxed out in full HD. And let's do the usual synchronization stuff. Where's my Raven at? I kinda like Icarus more, but oh, there's like a bunch of them. And again, yeah, it looks nice in a distance. Like this is exactly the same thing that was in Odyssey. And right, so suggested power, synchronized, yada yada yada, mysteries and artifacts. Okay, so we're basically getting the same performance all maxed out as we would get in the actual fuck. Okay, this is new. You can actually jump in the water. Am I gonna freeze to death now? Apparently not. So we have breathing out. That's kind of nice. Sun reflections. I don't know. This looks like Horizon Zero Dawn, like quite literally. And a hint of Skyrim when you look at all the rocks. And we still are not falling below 60, which is pretty nice. And we need to go for the place where my crew is held, 600 meters. Let's go there. I do believe we will have some wildlife to kill. What do we have in terms of weapons? Tracked quests. Okay, so this is how you track quests, exactly from Odyssey. And same in Breakpoint, to be honest. Heating the trees does not get down the snow from them. Ubisoft. Oh, we are actually bending down some of the things. But I honestly don't see why people actually think that this is how the next gen should look like. Okay, so we have the Raven vision on Y, exactly as in with Icarus. Same vision, which you obviously can do some pillars of interest. Okay, what about the controls of this Raven? And not entirely sure. This is going faster, so that is fine. So obviously, as you can see, like literally all these things, they are kind of like Odyssey, but it's just Vikings. And here we go, our first generic thing where we have to go in and kill everyone, obviously, to release the crew. I might as well just tag some guys, see if they actually tag exactly the same way. But I think it is. And so far the frames are actually decent. Oh, and Raven can be spotted. That is something new. Or is it showing the... it shows the place of my objective. So this is even more hand-holding than in actual Odyssey. Okay, I mean, this is not bad, right? So I need to come here. Apparently this is where the crew is being held. There's a boat and there must be some enemies down here. Let's see if I can actually go all the way down with my Raven. Icarus could go really low when it comes to it. And of course, probably you can actually upgrade your bird so it can harass the enemies. Yep, there's one of them. It actually does it like this. Okay, that's pretty handy, I guess. can actually put a waypoint as well. And that's not really bad, to be honest. Okay. That's fair enough. I don't know. I mean, literally, I can't say that this is the best game ever, but if you guys enjoyed Odyssey and the open world adventures, and honestly, so far it does run a tiny bit better than Odyssey. I mean, at least we're hitting more frames than in Odyssey. Roughly the same amount, and we are using 5.6 gigs of VRAM and 8.2 on actual RAM, which is completely fine. And I think I'm gonna do a quick test on 4K just to take a piece out of this game, so just bear with me here. So here we are at 4K, just as a proof, obviously, because no one will take my word for it. 4K graphics, everything is still on ultra high. I do believe I should be dropping them down on high if I wanted to. And we are getting 35 frames on 4K on ultra. Obviously 1080 Ti is not a 4K card, so don't expect anything, you know, different. And on my TV, of course, it looks rather the same, give or take, but I'll take the game's word for it. I don't know, if you have a 4K monitor, probably you will see a difference, like a bit more dense pixel count and stuff. But again, the point of the same stuff as in Odyssey is in this game. I think it's proven. Restricted area. Okay. Who's gonna restrict me now, bitch? Yeah, like actual place visuals are pretty good. I'm not gonna say that they look like shit. It's, as I said, it's exactly like Odyssey. So I'm not saying that, you know, this is something very weird. There is a new mechanic, as you can see. There's logs and we can jump over them. That was never in Odyssey. You can just swim, but at the same time Odyssey was kind of like in Greece, so obviously there's no need to swim if you can avoid that in a cold goddamn fucking water. And we do have some freezing animation, like on the screen, just an indication that you are actually freezing your fucking ass off, so that's kind of nice. And I'm not sure what are we supposed to find here. Apparently there's something to find. This is where the yellow thingy was, so it must be somewhere at the top of this stuff. The climbing mechanics is literally the same. It climbs exactly the same way, just a bit slower. I do believe there should be a perk for that, and well, obviously we cannot climb on ice. That is kind of expected, to be completely fair. Yeah, good. So there is some certain limitations here. Nice mechanic of using the pole to get onto the ladder, and we have a chest. Okay, I like some chests. Carbon ingot. That's it. We can actually have our car in carbon. Wait, we don't have a car. We have a ship. We can pimp it out. That's what we're gonna do. Right, let's jump down real quick. Nice animation of jumping down into the water. As you can see, the screen kind of goes with some snowflakes and stuff. And there's no auto jump. I kind of need to do it manually, so there's no free parkour stuff as in Unity, which was a bit, you know, kind of welcomed at some degree. And restricted area with all the guys dead already, so that's a bit odd. Runs pretty decent, even on 30 frames. I can still feel some lagging though, but I wouldn't say this is the game where you need your reaction time that much. Oh, it's time to fuck this boy up. Oh, hello. We don't have double rolls, but we have arrows. Well, arrows will always save the day, exactly as in Odyssey, so in this title as well. So either way, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see what is the point of people thinking this is the new best thing. If they are so hungry for a new Assassin's Creed title, yes, absolutely, this will fill the void in your heart. But overall, this is just a generic Assassin's Creed title where you just go, do things, story, follow a very straight-lined storyline with a lot of missions around you, like optional missions. Synchronize the locations, and I think this is kind of like a training ground where you just get used to the mechanics, because it's the same as in Odyssey with Kepalonia. Just a little island, you just go do some side quests here and there, get some bows, some arrows, some skill points, understand how it works if you're new to this franchise. And that's pretty much all there is. And I'm not saying this is bad, but my point is this is not the best new thing ever, because if you look at our model, this guy literally looks like from Unity. Like, honestly, I'm no joke. I could literally do side-by-side comparison with Alexios from Odyssey, and you would see Alexios looks better as an actual model. This looks cheap. I mean, it looks like it's missing something. Maybe it goes because you're a Viking, there's nothing to look at, but goddamn, Alexios was a simple Malaka from Greece, and that guy was looking pretty fucking nice, even when he didn't have anything. And this kind of goes with the Thor vibe, but anyway. Again, the overall feel of the game, do I feel like a Viking? I mean, yes. I mean, we do have all the weaponry for it and stuff like that, and we will have a ship and we'll go for voyages and stuff, which is the same point as an Odyssey. But this is not Odyssey, this is the new title, and again, Ubisoft is very good as rinse and repeat when it comes to certain game titles, and Assassin's Creed just keeps on giving. People keep on ordering, keep on playing, and keep on telling, this is amazing, oh my god. You've seen the performance of this game, you've seen the benchmarks. I'm sorry, if there is something that you basically, you know, don't believe or think this is not true, I don't know, believe what you want to believe. I'm not gonna try to pressure you, but my point, in my opinion, is absolutely proven. This game runs basically exactly as a Ubisoft title does. So, unless you have a beefy system or you are willing to turn down some settings, you're not gonna have you will not have a good time. Well, in my opinion, it will be fine in story. If you have DLC, if you purchase the game with additions, it's gonna feel you, I would say, the same as Odyssey. So far, if it follows the same creed as Odyssey, you will have fun for at least 120 hours, because at 112, I gave up on Odyssey. I was already finished the main story, finished one of the DLCs, the Hidden Blade, and I had two more to finish, which was the Hades and the Atlantis City. And I do believe in this game there's much more to come for this stuff. So, again, obviously, what do we have? World. Find, rescue the crew, quests. Yeah, exactly the same, just a bit different tutorials, databases, skills. So yeah, we do have a skill points, which we have, well, none. In new beginning. Stealth, damage, melee, and range. So yeah, I mean, there you go. Yes, it's the same Assassin's Creed, but in different timeline. And that's pretty much all you need to know if you are buying a Ubisoft title. So, to be completely fair, I can't blame the Ubisoft. Obviously, this will pay them off. It looks, I would say, a bit worse than Odyssey, but maybe it's just because we're in this training area, which obviously is kind of secluded and isolated. Overall, This is not too bad. I mean, Breakpoint kind of looks the same way, so I can't really say, you know, this is worse. I need to be neutral. I need to be honest when it comes to looking at the games. And of course there will be a lot of glitches. I'm not saying that there's no such thing as glitches in the games. But I'm saying that I don't see the point of unnecessarily slagging the game. But so far I can see that, yeah, there are things to do. There's some kind of village with a house there, which is actually historically accurate. The houses did look like this. This might be like an elder's house or something. If you're into Nordic mythology and the Nordic culture. We have kind of like a fortress type stuff, and we have some extra things which are very nice to see if you're flying with an eagle or raven in our case, which wasn't in Odyssey, so there's a bit more navigation effort put in. Yeah, I mean, it's out there. It's fine. Will I play it? Oh shit, I don't know, right? I mean, I need to get a lot of requests for me to play this game, but honestly, I wouldn't want to get into another Odyssey, because that means grinding. That means leveling up, and the enemies will level with you, and you get to the same fucking point where if you're level 60, the enemy is level 60. It's not like you come to him and he's level 2 and you just kill him with one shot. So, but anyway, I can see why this is launched, and obviously this is the road path Ubisoft is taking. Nothing bad about that. But I can't say that I like it at any point. But I can see why they decided to go with it. So this is kind of like a very long and I would say rather detailed review and test of what Ubisoft has come up now, and honestly it's running pretty well, so I hope you guys have fun. That's pretty much all there is. So whatever jobs there are, as you can see, well, they're not really game breaking, and I must give at least a kudos for Ubisoft for this one. Must be very hard to make a game without game breaking bugs. Anyway, at this amazing note and this amazing raven, obviously I'm gonna end this and see you guys next time. As always, peace out and stay classy.